So I usually have a script, some research that I share with you about ancient texts and channeling and predictions. And we'll continue to do that because we're going to continue to talk about the future on my channel and basically how you participate in changing it. What's been said, what hasn't happened, what is happening. But today I have a special message for you. It has been growing and growing, and I feel very strongly that something big is coming. Now, I just did a video about that, but it was based on a lot of things that have been predicted and why it's a wonderful future for you. But I do want to share something with you today that is my own download and intuition. And I did this one other time, and that was just before we had our lockdown. And I had no indication of anything that was going on at the time, but I kept telling you to prepare for something. It was global and it was big. Are you ready for this? Because this is a little bit different, but it is big. Here is my download of what's coming up here, actually in 2026. Let's go. Peace and love. Okay, welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube. I've got all kinds of great stuff for you guys. So many things to help you to move past the fears. This is what we do. We break through fear on my channel and all my teachings. From my business platform, training you how to become an entrepreneur. I can teach you how to do that. And breaking through the fears, because everything comes from your mind. Your future, your personal future comes from what's going on in here. You want to know the future? Tell me what you're thinking. So I want to supply those tools because you actually hold this power. And what's going to happen coming up here very shortly is we're going to be introduced to a world where we cannot deny those powers, that we are actually in control of everything, and that we are playing a role. It's a very dense one, so we have to play the rules of being human. But at the same time, we are not that. This is a facade. It's a play. It's a game, as is everything. Now, I'm going to tell you a few things that may be a little bit unsettling for you, but I hope you'll keep an open mind and just contemplate what's going on right now and what we're discovering through science, not just spirituality, but science, of what we really hold and how the world out there does work, how it functions. I hope you'll subscribe and share my messages. This is how we get the word out that we are beautiful and perfect. We are empowered, and it's ours to choose. This is a free will game planet. That means that nobody can interfere with your decisions. The physical world, we can do all kinds of things to that, but this is absolutely perfect. It always will be. You always will be. You always have been. So let's talk about that right now. If those of you who've read my book, I just want to share with you that when I wrote that, it was a channeled message. In other words, it was just a download, I call it. I didn't get out of the way and roll my head back and whatever. Not making fun, but that's not my style. You have access to this information. If you listen, if you can quiet the mind, it's all there, all that information. The most brilliant people on the planet have access to that. Tesla, Einstein went into meditational states. Many have access to things they don't talk about. Nostradamus went into his little channeling ceremony that he did. He looked into a pool of water in a bowl. What is all of this? It's really removing the ego in the mind to access information that is available to you. What does that mean? There's no answer that you cannot receive if you step back and stop limiting yourself. So many times we have these preconceived ideas of what that information is, where it's coming from. We've been told it's evil, and we have all this programming. When you step aside and you just listen, if you guys have been my Breakthrough Fear course, one of my practices is listen. You'll stop thinking. All right. And so you just listen and you tune into that. And more you will stop talking here. And more you'll be aware of that world out there that is absolutely all energy. Everything communicates with you. Plants, animals, everything. Why? It's all a frequency. So if you're thinking that's ridiculous, you're still thinking on the linear let's just say, material world. And that is very limiting. How can we be limited? Where did we come from? I just didn't pop in and become this energy field. No, I always was. And so we transform. Everything transforms. You transform constantly. Now, here's what you can do. And this is going to be mandatory coming up. Transformation. It's happening right now. It's not a future shift. We're pivoting right now. And 2025 is when so many people are changing their lives, maybe unexpectedly, but saying, I'm okay with this. Maybe careers, relationships, friends. Are you finding that? I am. I've tried so many things that I wouldn't have done before and learned from them. And then it directed me back to where I was supposed to be. I've made a lot of decisions. One of them was whether I stop sitting here talking to you. You know, YouTube has changed their algorithms and they're really killing off all these channels that have been out there for a very long time. And I thought, am I going to let that silence me? No. So I'm here. I'm still here. I'll give you a warning before I leave. But I realized this is the voice of people like yourself who are going to go into the golden era and make those changes. And we'll talk about that here coming up in just a moment. But I'm also reaching those who really need to hear this message. So if you're watching this video, congratulations. It's not a coincidence. You're ready for it. And if you've been thinking, what does my future hold and what's going on in this crazy world and why am I here? You know, you're questioning your job or your relationship, and especially your relationship to money. If you guys have seen, I have a new class, a quiz, a free quiz to find out what kind of archetype you are. What's your relationship to money? What's up with that? It's a material world that's unlimited. And so many people struggle and they hold back, right? They're afraid of the money thing. It's evil. People that, are afraid to invest in themselves. There's all kinds of things you may be holding back on. Why? What is it you're afraid of? So I have down in the description, go in, I have Mind Over Money. It's find out your archetype, your relationship with money, and a free webinar that helps you to move past that. And we have all kinds of other things for you. Also, free mindset training. I want to help you to go into this next era because 2026, I believe something very big is going to happen. You'd say, well, that's easy to say. Something big's always happening. No, no. This is on a high level. So before, when I told you something big was happening, I told you it was global. I didn't know what it was, but it was going to affect everyone. And I told you, get your house in order. I don't know why, but I was just told, get your house in order, clean up your house, get things in order, get your mindset in order. And boy, did that not count, right? Because when you're in lockdown, your house better be in order along with your mindset. And sure enough, we had our little incident here that was very strange. Well, it's not going to be that. Something else is happening, and it's on a high level. It's on a high level. What does that mean? I'm not sure. But it's going to deal with the structures in place. And something's going to shake us up and really question our new beginnings in a positive way. What can we really do? And wow, this isn't like it used to be. Things have changed, and are we going to speak up? And are we going to create our own reality? And the majority of people are going to start to realize that they actually hold powers to create things on their own and to go into communities to create all kinds of, let's just say, coherent, passionate, compassion, peace-loving groups of people that will flourish in that new era. There will be those that don't. Why? They will hang on to the material world that doesn't serve them anymore because they have a never-ending desire to control that power, material things, and that doesn't work anymore because the majority of people are going to realize and are stepping into that right now. This is the pivot we're going through, is that things aren't making me happy. We've been programmed to be consumers. You see, what you don't realize is that desire that you may have to get the stuff or own this or be that is programming. Because if we're buying, and we're taking, whatever to heal, or, we're eating whatever, then that world that is fueled by the material world spending loves it and cares nothing about our health or happiness. It tells you that's how you get happy, or what you need to eat to satisfy yourself. And it's created an addiction for all of us. All right. It's not easy to walk away from that, but I'll tell you what, you will have more abundance and satisfaction and health than you ever imagined if you do, because you're going to make higher choices. We will start to support the businesses, and I've got a store that I support all the businesses that don't pollute the planet, that really care about your health, that don't, harm animals. It has to happen, and you have to be that change maker, because what's going to happen is, if you rely on that world right now for anything, whatever you're doing, physically, emotionally, with your money, how you earn, if you rely on it, it's not going to serve you anymore. Now, I said to you, and this was one of the studies, that the consciousness of humanity is actually going up. And so we actually, as a collective, will tolerate bad behavior less. So in other words, as a collective, we're actually saying that's not okay. And not participating. Now, this is the key. You cannot participate in it. Sorry, you like fast food? Walk away. You're eating poison. You're fueling that, let's just say, higher up control that cares nothing about us and makes money off of us if we're sick. Only you can control that. So we're taking responsibility in 2025, saying, I'm doing this. The second thing is responsibility in another way. Actually, your beliefs. So if you believe a certain thing, if you believe that money is separate from you, or happiness or health is separate from you, it's something you have to get, you don't understand what you are. It's right here. It is you. It's just a decision you're going to make. But as long as you believe it's something you have to get, then it will remain something that you have to get. It'll be elusive. And that's how we've been living. This is why these, mantras and vision boards and stuff don't work if you still think it's out there that I have to get it. I'll bring it to me. So you still think it's something that has to come to you, when it actually exists right now. Every possible opportunity exists for you right now. This is what I teach. I want you to understand that when you own this, and so many of you are afraid to, because you're thinking, I'm not God. I don't want to say that. I'm going to be struck down. Still conditioning, afraid of your power. These things you shall do and more. Ye are all gods. We don't believe it. Okay, don't have to do that. But if you step into your power and realize you are meant to experience this whole, diverse feelings, emotions, loss, all these things that we have here that are false. Well, just say they're real to us, but they're not ultimate truth. They're just experiences, so that we can know it. But we are to make a higher choice. The whole game is, out of these experiences, I no longer choose it. Addictions, conflict, separation, judgment. So many of you judge one another. He without sin cast the first stone. Don't include me in that one. We've all done things that were stupid, okay? It's part of the game. You can't learn until you do that. But how many times are you going to continue that? Do you want to step out of those patterns? Do you want to step out of illness? Do you want to step out of financial struggle? Do you want to step out of bad relationships? Unhealthy ones. They're your best teachers. But when do you let it go? This is the time. Now we're coming up on the end of 2025, and I see something in 2026 shaking up the world, but it's going to be the higher up structures. All right. And I'm not talking about conflict. I'm not talking about anything that's going to scare you that way. I'm talking about the upper structures. Something big is going to happen. I don't know what it is, but I just keep hearing it's the higher structures. Something is going to happen. Now, the other thing too is we've been seeing drones appearing. We're not getting any answers. We're the United States. We don't let things fly over our country. if we don't know who they are. If we think it's another country spying on us, we take those babies out, which tells you something. It's not something else. It is something unknown. So I believe we're going to see more and more of that. We are seeing more and more of that. We're seeing more things show up. I just actually saw my second UAP in my whole life the other day. It was a huge triangle, huge, massive, with lights. It was not Starlink. I actually checked NASA maps. I checked everything, and it said you should not be seeing anything in the skies, including satellites, where I was here in Florida. And I wasn't afraid. We have to step back the fear, because whatever happens is an open gateway to something we've never experienced here on this planet before. And that is unity. And so when you go into that space and you create it, you will get opportunities in that frequency that will bring you peace and absolute satisfaction and purpose that you couldn't imagine. And it will have nothing to do with making money or getting anything, yet you will be satisfied. I see that happening for you. I see you letting go of those negative thoughts or claiming to be anything. You know, being an identity is also part of a low frequency. I'm this, or naming these. I see people all the time. I'm a star seed. I'm this. And what it does is it's saying that I'm special and different. It really is doing that. And they don't realize that's still the ego claiming to be something. Now, if you're familiar with Buddhists, to even say I'm a Buddhist is naming something. And the true faith of Buddhism is to be nothing. You have no name, no nothing. Right? And I believe that the higher realms function that way. We named them Michael, archangels, and, Mother Mary. But I believe in the true realms of the higher frequency, there are no names or identities. Why? Because they're not really separate. They will appear that way for us because we need to see that, because we can't comprehend oneness. We can't comprehend one being that is all things. It's just too big for our little brains, right? And that's okay. So where do we go from here? Right now, I want to ask you these questions, and these are the steps that you can take. Number one, are you holding back on anything because you are in stress, or you're looking for something or someone to save you, or something out there is supposed to happen for you? If you're thinking that, you're not embracing your power. Second of all, are you practicing healthier habits? Are you letting go the consuming things, or letting go? They say that the new world is to let things go, right? I take more stuff to my consignment store, and she loves me. Her business is thriving. I get some money. People get great stuff. This is the new community, is I don't need this stuff. I've downsized. I'm happy. I've never been, I think, happier in so many ways. Yes, my life's been wonderful, but it was never the things. It was the experiences. So you're going to go into experiences. And I want you to have those more and more if you're seeking this peace and joy that I know you're capable of. So the second thing is practice quietness, meditation, go on walks. Get that real natural sunshine, supplements. Nobody needs supplements. If you're getting everything you need, you don't need supplements. Yet we are told we need those to feel better. What about if you just went into a space where you have everything you need? Now, I know it's difficult. We live in a toxic world, especially here in the United States. But we have to go into that world and start making higher choices. All right? Respect animals, respect plants. I'm not telling you to be vegan. I'm pescatarian. I was actually thinking about this the other day, that didn't the disciples, weren't they fishermen? Okay. I don't know about that. Thou shalt not kill, yet they were fishermen. I don't have those answers. All I know is you just have to do your best, and whatever suits you. Always concern yourself with, if you want to go into this high space, be concerned of the source of everything you're consuming. How was it treated? What chemicals were put into? Did it have a happy life? Because then you are consuming. this low frequency energy and fear. And by the way, that happens because when animals are fearful before they're killed for you to consume them, they release toxins in their own body, adrenaline, and you eat that. So a lot of us are getting sick. Well, not me, because I don't eat meat. I haven't for a very long time. Because things are tainted. When we live in a society that's beautiful and our animals, our plants are all treated with respect, they're not sprayed, you are treating other people with respect, you will live a completely different life. And that is what we're going into because it's your choice. It's really that simple. Now, like I said, I have free stuff for you. Mind over money. I have a free quiz for you. Do you want to find out what your relationship is with money? I have, I think, several archetypes that you answer some questions, and then I give you the answers to your quiz, and also a master class that's free also to say, how do we change this? Do you really want to struggle anymore? Sometimes I think some of you are addicted to it. So do you want to, hit that really high frequency out there that has no limits? It's total, but it's everything. Things show up for you that you would never imagine. The mind wants to create, I need this. And that. No, just let it go. I have everything I need. And sure enough, it shows up, it shows up, it shows up. That's where we want to get you to if you want to live that life. It is still your choice. All right, so let's work on that because something huge will happen in 2026. And it's going to take us into more and more of changes because the things that happen in 2026, they're going to open up doors we can never close again. And it's all going to be good unless you're going to fear. If you do, it's because you're hanging on to a world that has not served others, especially you. You got to let that go. And when you do, you're going to go, wow, this is amazing. Wow, what a great, time to be here. I go walk in my grass out there. I look at the stars every night. That's how I saw my UAP. And I don't have fear with that. I said to somebody, if we get hit with an asteroid, by the way, that's not what I'm predicting at all. That's not even remotely in my head right now. An asteroid, well, if it's in my head, it's going to be out the other side pretty quick. I said, if I knew it was coming, I'd probably get a glass of wine, invite some friends over, sit out there and just wait for it and talk about what an amazing trip we've been on. Don't you think it is? It's amazing. Can you let go of the hurt and the pain that you thought was against you, which is really everything that's beautiful? It's a teaching for you. Can you let go of the names and labels, especially for yourself? I'm this, I'm that. No, you're perfect. You are source. You're expressing it right here as that person. I'm Landria, whatever. It's just a name. It's a temporary experience. That's all it is. What you can do with it, it's special. And yes, it's very uncomfortable, especially when we do struggle. It's like nobody likes to struggle, but you have everything you need. When you leave this body, oh, believe me, there's none of that. But you won't know it unless you are in a place where you have the contrast. You know what it's like to have and to not have, to be happy, to be sad, to have, to lose. That's what makes this so special, and it contributes to the collective. But how you handle it is going to be super important right now. So get ready. Get ready, because what I want to just share with you is the most important thing you could do is to go ahead and allow the changes in your life to come in and say, okay, let's try this, and not expect it to be the answer forever. Maybe you're here for a while and then you learn and you go here for a while, but you're not the same person anymore with your jobs, your money, your relationships, everything. Just say, well, where's it going to take me? Because your experience is beautiful. And if you see it that way and you actually enjoy that ride, say, I'm going to actually enjoy this. What can I get from this? Your world will change because your frequency goes up and now you are connected to that radio station. You're going to hear it. You can't connect to this if you're down here. You can't be in the penthouse if you're in the basement. It's stinky and dark down there. But only you can get up to the top floor. And everyone's welcome. So get ready. And we'll talk more about this. And as I start to feel it's getting more intense, something. And so we'll see what happens. I don't always have the answers, but I sense when things are absolutely big. Let's put it that way. So prepare, but in a very good way, because you're going to release all the things that have not served you or others. It's going to be such a relief. You say, wow, I was so afraid to get rid of that or give that up, and I feel so good. All right, you ready for this? So down in the description, I have Mind Over Money. I also have Digital Explorers. If you're in any of those lists, you will get reminders of the Mind Over Money uh, webinar, or I'm sorry, masterclass. And so if you go into my free inspiration, I focus strictly on the mindset, and I have courses in there that I've reduced the price considerably, and there's a lot of free stuff too, of course. I also have um, purchases that you can make in Amazon that are toxic free, and there's a lot of things in there you'll love that have changed my life, including like my water. Let's pull this over here. Takes out 87 poisons. I know you guys got those Britas and that's not going to do it. We're poisoning ourselves. We've got to end this. So I hope this was encouraging to you today, because it's exciting and beautiful. It's going to release all the stuff, the worry, the stress, the having to get things, and you'll realize I'm perfect. You are perfect, whole and powerful, strong, loving, harmonious, and happy. It all exists for you right now. It's not out there. It's not something you have to pray and bring to you. Say, yes, I accept it. I am that. I am. Namaste.